Hi y'all, Myra here, also known as the Paranormal Chick. So today we are going to talk about the origins of Bigfoot. I have a couple of stories that I want to share with you, a couple of things that I've researched and found, and I hope you find as interesting as I did. So the photographs, as you see in the reel behind me, are very interesting, and we're going to dive right into it. So in 1894, a couple of mountain men and trappers were in Canada, and they reported capturing and killing a Bigfoot. Now, the photographs have been proven authentic. They are not fakes. And this was taken in 1894. So that means this would be the very first photograph evidence of a Bigfoot, as well as the death of a Bigfoot. They took a series of photos. Fortunately, I can't find all of those photos any longer. What they found in the body, they turned over to their company, which was Forestry Hudson Bay Company, which they in turn promptly covered it up. This did not sit well with those mountain men and those trappers. They wanted to tell people what they caught. They wanted to explain and tell their story of the humanoid creature that are out in those woods, and they were silenced. If the story is to be true, what is said is that a couple of those men decided to sneak back into the company's office and gather back as much of the evidence they had submitted as they can and release it themselves. What the story goes is they were able to retrieve 5 pictures. Unfortunately, the body and the other evidence is gone forever. But they were able to retrieve 5. So far, of those 5, I've only been able to post 2, as you can see in the reel. What I find interesting is when one of those pictures that you saw in the reel, the back of the photo has writing. I'm going to read it to you. I know it's very blurry in the photo. I apologize. I couldn't clear it up anymore. But this is what it says. Year 1894. Yalaghorn, apologize if I'm slaughtering that name. Yalaghorn River around Lillibet, BC. Forestry Hudson Bay Company. They took the picture, and the guy that was in the picture went and stole them back from the forestry records, Hudson Bay Company. I believe his last name was Holiday. Don't know the first name. Never took all pictures, only one, and took pictures of the rest. Glass plate photography. So, was this the very first cover-up of Bigfoot? It very likely could be. Very likely could be. It's interesting that it goes back to 1894, before there was CGI, before there was considered being able to fake pictures and, things like that. So 1894. But I'm going to go back further. I'm going to go back to the beginning of, if this is to be believed, the beginning of human civilizations. We're talking Sumerians. We're going to go back to the Epic of Gilgamesh. Now, throughout college, I've read the Epic of Gilgamesh. Never did I ever think to consider there's one passage that I kind of overlooked, that I never tied them together until now. So the first known story of the wild man is an Epic of Gilgamesh. Now keep in mind, if the stories and the theories are true, the Sumerians are considered one of the first and oldest civilizations of the human species. There is a chapter that is of Enkidu. Enkidu was stated to be a wild man. He roamed with the animals. He was very wild. He was at first depicted as a servant slave to Gilgamesh, who was the king of Uruk, and it was more of like a servitude role. If the passage is correct, they formed an alliance and became the closest of friends. They became brothers. But I want to tell you, and I want to read this word for word because it's the description of an Enkidu. And if you really stop to consider it, it seems like as if they're almost describing a Bigfoot, what we call this wild man today as a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch or Yetis. So listen. His body was rough. He had long hair like a woman's. It waved like the hair of Nasiba, the goddess of corn. His body was covered with matted hair, like Semigun's, the god of cattle. He was innocent of mankind. He knew nothing of cultivated land. Enkidu ate grass in the hills with the gazelle and lurked with the wild beasts at the waterholes. As you can see in the reels, those are some of the only photos I was able to find of the clay tablets of Enkidu, the honored friend of Gilgamesh. Could that be the first known record of what we consider a Bigfoot? You tell me. But I find it very interesting that these stories go back hundreds and thousands of years, and they are not recent stories. We've had the legends and the myths of Bigfoot in our history all this time. We just never really looked. I find it amazing, and I hope you do too. Leave your likes, comments, tell me what you think. Give me your theories. I would love to hear them. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, _paranormal_chick. I'm also on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, The Paranormal Chick. Thank you all so much.